Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Aries April 2022 predictions and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James. As you subscribers know, it's always great to see you, and I hope you're doing well. Well, today we're going to take a bit of a Hindu theme. We're going to look at cards from a tarot called the Sacred India deck, and which is actually quite hard to get hold of, it seems. I fortunately have had this deck for, I think not long after it came out, actually. It's been with me for a long time. So therefore I shuffle over the top because I don't want to wreck the cards. Well, this is jumping out, whatever it is, and it is for you, the World card. These other cards down here, by the way, are just for complementary energy. The main energy, of course, is that of the tarot cards themselves. See what else there might be for you. There is the High Priestess. Well, two major arcana, interestingly, in this beautifully illustrated deck. There is the Two of Lotuses. Now, I think you can assume that lotuses are cups. We'll have a look in just a moment, shall we? Gee, I look forward to seeing you each month. I really do. Truly I do. I don't know whether you did have a look at that last month, that Aries woman sex and style video, but it's there. I won't put it in the description. You can search for it. It was in last month's reading, which will still be on the playlist, incidentally. There is the Moon. Interesting. The Moon, and from in here we have what? That's another card of the World. So I'm going to put those both together, and you can have a look at both of those images together. Obviously the deck does, as I recall, have two images there, so we'll use both of them. And there is the Ace of Staves. Well, come on down now, sit down here next to me. We'll have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. All right, now I think we would be remiss, would we not, if we didn't consider, given that the unusual double pulling of this World card here, we'll have a look at both of them and we'll see what they have to say. Now, let's have a look to see first what you have here. Now, this would be Mahashakti, the world. She is the world, the universe, the force that pervades it. She is the great power and also the supreme eternal knowledge that becomes the cause of moksha, or liberation of the soul from reincarnation. She is the world transcending illumination and world generating will. She has no name, for she is all name. She is the material universe, the pulse, the breath of life, the incandescent heat of light and love in the center of the universe, which is the human soul. And she is Ananda, the bliss that pervades the universe as awakened consciousness. Now, teamed with her is Nataja. Now, let's have a look at this. Well, when I say Nataja, what we really have here is, this reveals the eternal rhythm of galaxies waning into and renewing from stellar debris. It is the dance of Shiva, king of the dancers. Galaxies hurtle across an ever-expanding universe, expanding in what space, if space itself is expanding? For the Indian mystic, the question has a primordial answer. It expands into infinite consciousness. Now, I think what we can say with these two together, and let's just place them side by side so that we make sure that we get the energetic impact of them. There we go. What we have here is, for you, the completion of a project. Your efforts are finally paying off. It's been something of a long, hard haul for you, hasn't it? But you're almost there. Remember to finish what you've started, though. You are learning now to take control of your own destiny, the power of your will to get results. It is now possible for you to see things as they really are. The stage is set for a new beginning or a favorable completion. The events in your life are in harmony with the universe. From what aspects of your life is it time to free yourself? Is there a journey or an enterprise waiting for you to set in motion? Trust your perceptions at this time, and maybe make a list of all unfinished situations whose resolution would give you a sense of relief. Say this to yourself: I love to travel. I love to explore the unknown. I am excited about bringing ideas and creative projects into form. I deeply value making a contribution that makes the world a better place to live. And I am at one with the universe. Now, I think we might stay on this top row that's here. How fortunate it is to have drawn that twice. What are the odds of that happening? Now here on this top row we have, the High Priestess. Well, let's look to see what this High Priestess might have to tell you. What do we have in the painting here? Saraswati is the original great white goddess of India. Now, she is a Vedic deity, a sacred river, the forerunner of the reverence that would be transferred to the Ganges River, but also the personification of wisdom and learning, spiritual knowledge, and also the performing arts. Now, the river Saraswati formed was one of a boundary that had the divine country around it in Vedic times. She is thus a threshold deity, guardian of the dissolving border between stages of consciousness. Now, as the goddess, Saraswati is always represented as having a dazzling white complexion, which you can see here, and dressed in sparkling white attire. Her lotus seat is white too, a symbol of lofty thinking and rising above your immediate material surroundings, just as the lotus thrusts itself up from the mire in an act of beautiful transcendence. Now, the white swan is her vehicle, symbolizing right thinking, discriminating between the true and the false, and exemplified in the mythical ability to separate milk from water and drink only the milk component. White is also the color of purity in India. Saraswati holds a palm leaf manuscript. Can you see that there? And that represents the Vedas, the sacred, some of the sacred literature of the Hindu culture. She plays a horse-headed lute in her other hand, a symbol of elegance, culture, refinement, and all the creative aspects of the universe. Now, string instruments represent the sound A in the word Om, A-U-M, and stand for all creative thinking and creation unfolding. Her husband is Brahma, the god of creation. Now, it's also got to be said that astrologically, the moon is very important in this energy around here. What she's talking about is access to your intuitive powers, probably healing and getting over some illness that you had, or getting over some aches and pains, a great feeling of independence around here, and increased self-confidence to you. I think you'll be able to discover your own truth, and your spirit guides will be available to assist you. There's also a period during this time, I think, of very good emotional stability. You see, she is in touch with her intuitive abilities and can trust them completely. She perceives and is connected with her own inner voice, the internal guide and healer. Now, this shows outwardly in her trust in and responsibility to herself. Now, like the camel, which can travel long stretches in the desert without water, you, when you have discovered your own inner spring, also radiate a satisfied sense of self-sufficiency. Really now you do have access to your intuitive powers. Develop them more fully and guard your independence. Are there areas in your life in which you allow others to influence you rather than trusting your own intuition? And if you can, seek out water as often as you can, the swans and lotuses. Meditate near water and learn from it as much as you can. And say this to yourself: I trust my intuitive abilities. I deeply honor and value the human being that I am. I am intuitive and perceptive. I trust myself and honor my sense of integrity. I have full faith in my intuitive abilities. Now, there was another major arcana around somewhere, I think. Where was it? Oh, this is it here, I think, isn't it? Yeah, the moon. Okay, moon, let's have a look at you, shall we? See what you have to tell my friend here. Well, Chandra, the moon god, is a self-appointed bad boy, I suppose, of the Indian mythic pantheon of gods, possessing qualities that should have made him admirable and a role model. He nevertheless insisted on acting rambunctiously and turning everything in society over. The moon is the keeper of Soma, drink of immortality. He is also the ancient timekeeper for all human cultures. Since no auspicious event could occur without his announcing the correct time, and since Soma was a vital part of Vedic ritual, it is understandable, I suppose, that he became puffed up and arrogant, full of himself, being remarkably handsome, intelligent, and devilishly charming, and born of divine parents, and of great social accomplishments. Well, none of that helped him in developing any modesty. Now, the astrology here for this energy for you is Neptune in Pisces with Venus exalted. Really, the question is something a reality, or is it an illusion? There is, with Neptune, the ideas of dreams, mystery, and transformation of perceptions. Now, Pisces, Neptune in Pisces. Well, Pisces is very much associated with the subconscious, with emotions, intuition, and artistry. And this, for me, is the last of the major arcana cards to be associated with the zodiac sign, and Pisces, of course, is the final zodiac sign. Now, Neptune's metaphorical, watery depths are associated with dreams, visions, and the imagination, which links it in really quite well with the powers of the moon, I think. But you might find at the moment that there is a final testing of you in relation to something. Maybe there's a couple of wrong turns that you've taken. There is, in a sense, I get the feeling here of, so those wrong turns have been taken because you are burning off some karma. There's an interaction or struggle with the subconscious. The moon, of course, rules that, among other things, which is below consciousness. But this does also herald for you the threshold to new levels of consciousness. But there could be mental confusion around and a couple of difficult periods where you lack clarity or you come across some sort of deception. But on the other hand, I have to say, you may well find that you have increased psychic abilities here. You have heard the call of the unknown. You are on the threshold of a new experience. Pay attention now to the voice of your heart and scrutinize calmly and carefully any offers of assistance and guidance that you may receive. This is a time for you, I think, when you might ask yourself what inner regions feel strange, alien, or unknown to you. Where are your blind spots? What experiences are you most afraid of? Now, if you can, meditate regularly. But say this to yourself during this time. It's always darkest just before the dawn. I enjoy making important decisions. I value honesty and integrity in relationships. I like what is mysterious within me and within others, that I express myself fully and openly, like the moon, where it's responsible to do so, because through choice, I can always change my experience. Well, let's see what we have next. What do we have next? Well, I'll do this, whatever that is. These two lotuses will leave till the end. Very good story behind both of these cards here for you. Don't you love a good story? Do you know what myths are? Myths actually are vehicles that enable mysteries, spiritual mysteries, to be expressed in words and for people to experience them. They don't mean that they're stupid or wrong. Here we have the Ace of Staves, and as I see this, well, because of this bridge that's going across the ocean here, this bridge across the ocean, which looks impossible to build, well, this is about possibility for you, and I think that Virgo, Leo, and Cancer are going to be important to you at this time. Now, the impossible for you is suddenly a reality. A bridge has been built over the ocean. Now, on the other side, there's an island which is inhabited by a demon king called Ravana, and he was secure in his island fortress of Lanka. Now, Lanka is what today we call Sri Lanka, and if you can imagine the enormous work that would have been involved, Sri Lanka is about 880 miles, in a straight line, about 880 miles or 1,400 kilometers away from India. So this guy, Ravana, held prisoner and no doubt decided to perform certain, ungentlemanly practices upon her, the wife of Rama. Now, Rama is the seventh avatar of Vishnu, avatar being the manifestation or the incarnation mythologically. Now, of course, Rama went mad when he heard this, went crazy. But he has effortlessly accomplished, now Rama is the guy that's in the middle here, incidentally. Now, he's not only accomplished an engineering miracle, he's also routed the false confidence of the people that lived on Lanka. Now, the Ace of Staves sears away the illusions and delusions dear to the heart. It forces a creative and ultimately more integral response to the challenge of life. If you persist in the old ways, the consequences are swift and harsh as one of Rama's weapons, I suppose. Now, this colossal feat was accomplished with the help of his brother, and some magical creatures of equal or important accomplishments to humans. On Rama's left is the builder, Nala, who along with his twin brother, Nida, they constructed the splendid Ark of Stone between the shores of India and Sri Lanka. Now, this is really talking about potential here and your potential to get things done and to make things happen and to become, because remember this, and this is the energy that is coming through. There is nothing you cannot be. There is nothing you cannot do. There is nothing you cannot have. You are the most magnificent, the most remarkable, the most splendid being God has ever created. For who could reject such wondrous magnificence? But you do not know who you are, and you think you are a great deal less. You are your own rule maker, and you are the only one who can assess how you are doing. All you see in the world is your idea about it. Life will take off for you when you choose for it to. An idea becomes a thought becomes a word. Say it out loud. Words have power, and they reverberate all throughout eternity. And a word becomes an action. And if you're going to do it, then start, and having started, go all the way. Do it, do it, do it. Seize the opportunity that is before you now. Rejoice in it, and let no power on earth take it from you. Now that leaves us, I think, doesn't it, with this central energy here, which is about beautiful love. Love in all of your life and areas here. Now really, if I were to sum this up, this is the destiny of Parvati. Parvati was the goddess wife of Shiva. Now, Narada, who is a celestial being here, he's come to visit the Himalayan, well, the personification of the Himalayas and destiny of the, and dwelling of the god Shiva. Parvati is down here, miserable about life that's gone before her and her family background and what have you. Well, Narada proclaims to her that her destiny is an awesome one, to marry Shiva himself. Shiva, you might recall, is one of the gods in the Hindu trinity. There's Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the sustainer, the preserver, and Shiva, the god who brings about change and renewal. This pose here and this picture here is really that of a spiritual initiation, I would say. Now this is about love. It is Venus in the first decan of Cancer, the 21st of June to the 1st of July. Now this Venus in Cancer exemplifies the real benefit to you of having drawn this card, because Venus is the most receptive of planets and is about, among other things, love, beauty, creativity, relationship. And Cancer is the most maternal of signs, about nurturing, comfort, supporting, and healing. So with Venus in Cancer, you have receptive love, happy relationships, and emotional exchange. If you love yourself, you are attractive to others. Your receptiveness towards yourself prepares you to give yourself totally to somebody else. You need to love yourself in order to know what it is that you're giving to someone. And you need to know to love yourself in order to know what the value of something is if someone is offering it to you. But a deep emotional exchange is quite possible here at this time, and this union occurs in complete harmony, as symbolized by this harmonious scene. Your readiness to receive love makes you attractive, surrendered to yourself, to others, to life. As I say, this refers to Venus in Cancer. Cancer, more than any other sign, is a receptive card and is the house of the moon. And in Cancer, Jupiter is exalted, and these are very friendly planets for you at this time. So I can see things like and hear you hearing about marriages, the beginning of harmonious relationships, close friendships and partnerships. And a love that is both special and equal. You'll be able to give and receive love in equal measure. Now, with which persons and in which surroundings can you now share your love? Pay attention to the love coming to you and remain open and let it enter you and go deep inside. And say this to yourself: there is nothing to do but enjoy what life offers. I am now ready to let into my life the love relationships which fulfill me. That's the way it is. Well, thanks for joining me. It's been really great to see you, and I loved sitting down with you and doing that reading for you. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed providing it to you. And isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting, all that stuff? Well, remember one thing, of course, and that is this, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.